it's Timmy Joe Review Anything! I know, you're like, Timmy Joe, you're back with another guitar video. Well, if it's not your type of thing, I'm sorry. There will be a DJI Phantom review next week. It's already been shot, just waiting for a friend of mine to send me a video about it. I'm talking to you, Josh. Anyways, it's Timmy Joe Review Anything, and yeah, I have a lot of guitars, okay? I got like more than this even. There's a couple in the closet behind there that aren't really worth talking about. But I am willing to talk about 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, plus my amp, and just kind of review the couple of guitars I've kept over the years, because I've definitely had many more than this. If you don't like it, shove it up your ass, but you know, maybe if you want to stick around for a second, you can learn a little bit about, you know, different types of guitars, and I mean, what dude doesn't like guitars? So cue that intro and we'll talk. All about it, okay? So, hi there, it's Timmy Joe, and yeah, guitars. I've been playing guitar since I was 14. I've said in a couple other videos, I really do love guitar. I have a little series on teaching you how to play guitar. I've had way more equipment than this in my lifetime, but unfortunately, babies happen. You know, I'm in a room with ABCs on the wall. This used to be my jam room. But when we had the kid, things started to get sold here and there, and lo and behold, I'm down to 1 amp and you know, a couple of the guitars I couldn't bear to get rid of, and I only play once a week if I'm lucky. One day, I promise, I'll have an old man band with my friends when I'm like, you know, in my 60s playing Buckman Turner Overdrive. And I've been taking care of business. Let's talk my amp first of all. It's just a Fender Champion 40-watt solid-state amplifier. Absolutely nothing special about it. And that's kind of the point. It sounds good when I turn it on. You know, it's got pre-built-in effects. The only thing it's missing is a tuner, which is kind of, you know, lacking on Fender's part. Like, come on. But this thing costs $150 maybe, and it does everything, you know, I'd really ever wanted to. I've had tube amps in the past. I've had Fender tube amps, and they're kind of a lot of work. You have to have pedals hooked up to them, you know, specific kinds of pedals to make them sound good for tubes and stuff like that. It's a whole mess. Get one of these, plug it in with a guitar. It sounds like, you know, 90% as good as if you set up a bunch of pedals and a tube amp, in my opinion. Moving on. This is my favorite guitar to pick up and play by far. It's not my favorite guitar sentimentally, but just to kind of, it's my favorite guitar by far because it's the first Gibson guitar I ever owned. Now, my son's name is Gibson. I'm wearing a Gibson shirt. Guitars are a big thing in my family. And when my dad passed away, I was distraught, and I went out and I bought this guitar as kind of I don't know, a way to make myself feel a little bit better, because I got some money, and I've stuck with it mostly because, and this is why I fucking hate cats, they break guitars. As you can see here, right here, this guitar has been mended, okay? I've had to glue this guitar back together, and that's because it was sitting in a guitar holder, much like this one here, and the cat was up on the windowsill, and I heard a big boom crash and a crazy meow, and I came down here, and this Gibson Les Paul Studio was sitting flat on the floor with its headstock removed. And I should have had the guitar in the case, but it was my jam room, for God's sakes. Anyways, it's still completely functional, and this guitar is great for, you know, Led Zeppelin style, you know, that kind of stuff. Just playing at the beginning like that. It's really noisy though, and I think it's the lights that make it extra noisy, but these are single coil pickups, If you know anything about guitars, there's pickups with one line of like magnets and stuff like that, or two. This is a real Gibson Les Paul Studio, which is the cheaper model. It doesn't have like the fancy bells and whistles of like a really nice clear coat or top coat on it. But I like that almost better on this, and it's a gold top. I always wanted a gold top, but the cat fucking ruined it, and it'll never be the same. Moving from the top end of the spectrum down to the low end of the spectrum, this here is not a Fender Telecaster. This is a sticker. This is a pawn shop special that I've painted so many times you can see how many layers. And I've fake road warned it, which means I've made it look like it's, from the 70s and been through a million shows and stuff like that. I put all real American hardware in it. And I've had an American Telecaster. This one I put a little bit hotter pickups in, and I actually like a lot better. So there you go. I ended up trading my real Telecaster to a guy for a Gibson SG. I ended up selling that along the way somewhere. I've had so many guitars, it's ridiculous. But what this guitar is good for is kind of like that thinner or more like country sound. As you can tell, I really like Gibson guitars and Epiphone guitars. I'm not so much of a Fender guitar fan, that's not even a real Fender. Now this is my acoustic guitar. It is a Fender Sonoran. And at one point, I had some money and I went into the music store, and instead of buying a Taylor acoustic, which is like a $1,500 to $2,500 to $4,500 guitar, I walked out with this Fender Sonoran, and I had pre-ordered a Telecaster. So instead of buying a really good acoustic, I bought a really good electric and this thing. And the reason why I did that was I picked this up and I was playing it. It had really nice strings on it at the time. And I had just been playing the Taylors in like the big guitar room, like the humidified room, and I said, you know what, this sounds as good as those guitars, if not, maybe a little bit less good. But I'm not that much of an acoustic guitar player, and I'm bound to have a cat knock it over. So I might as well buy, something that looks more electric. This looks like an electric guitar. It's a stunning coat of blue. It can plug in, and it sounds really good both ways. And that way I'll have a Fender guitar that I really like, and I've held on to it throughout the years. It sounds really good, and it was only about $400, I think. It's a really nice guitar for the price, that is for sure. Moving on to this last one. This is an Epiphone Dot. So Epiphone is the cheaper version of a Gibson guitar. Fender doesn't change the name really. When it comes down to Gibson, they don't put their Gibson name on anything that wasn't made in the United States, where Fender does. Like a Fender guitar like this was made in probably Korea or China. But this, almost as good as the real thing. They make an ES335, which is this same guitar if you buy it as a Gibson. This is kind of the style that John Lennon played, but this is called an Epiphone Dot. Now, my wife bought it for me, and her nickname is Dot. So, it means a lot to me that she bought me this lovely guitar for Christmas one year, and it shares her name. And what I did was I got a tattoo of the Epiphone Dot on my shoulder here, and her name is embedded in here, Dot, just the way it is up on this headstock. So, a lot of sentimental things with guitars for me. My son's name is Gibson. I have an Epiphone Dot, and I have a wife named Dot. So it's kind of cool. And what this guitar is really good for, putting a lot of reverb on and playing some like bluegrassy kind of stuff. About this guitar, why I like playing the Les Paul a little bit better, is it's just big, it's heavy, the neck is chunky on it, where This is a little bit more stealthy and kind of more my idea of like the perfect on-stage guitar. And, you know, I've been playing guitar since I was 14, and, you know, you can even find, you know, videos and pictures of me playing guitar when I was like a baby, like my son's age. I always had a real deep interest in it. But do you guys like guitars? I mean, I know this was kind of an impromptu video. It didn't really explain much as to what, you know, how these fit into the grand scheme of guitars, more of what my sentimental attachment to them is. But, you know, if you like the video, comment, say, hey, yo, TJ, I got this kind of guitar. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. I don't care. But hopefully you got some information out of it. You enjoyed it. And like I said, there is a drone video coming, I'm going to say Monday. I'm going to bug my friend. He just owes me one more video. And that thing's going to be complete. I was hoping to put it out today. Hopefully Braille will skate my damn Lego skateboard soon, too. I know they have it. And I know he's waiting to get the whole crew together, he was telling me in an email. Before he skated it. But lots of cool things on the horizon for the channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You have a good day. Bones wheels, 62 mil with the reds. It's a good setup, I tell you.